Now then, quick summary of racing data for Christian Boyles. This is Kirkistown track, Ulster Superbikes, 2025 for what it's worth. Interesting here, there's two ZX636s on the screen. We have Jordan Larkin in green and Christian in purple, right? So this purple data has a high lift cam. And it's pretty evident then at the end of the straight that Christian holds 218k, 226k an hour over 218, right? That's Jordan's entry speed. However, just slowing down a tad too much for the amount of pace that you're holding in there, right? So that's 178 for 171 now, right? So, what I want to say is that because of your power, this is how much time you made, right? And because of your brakes, you lost it all, every single bit of it. So you're making loads of gains because of your cams, and then you lost it all because of this apex speed, right? I'm going to try and see if there's anything got to do with lean angle in that, because lean angle is directly correlated to speeds. The time you're losing is 0.11 seconds, 0.12 seconds. So you're losing that again. So 8k an hour, it seems, is worth 0.12 seconds there. And I'll prove that now again in another video in a second. The rest of it is all hearsay. See this? This is dead parallel. Nothing in it. Then the two riders come back together here, right? And that's because you braked slightly later going into the chicane. All right, so you're pretty good on the brakes, Christian. Okay, what I want to do then is look at a loss. So your chicane has cost you in one lump a gap of minus 0.265 seconds in one big lump. That's your exit of the chicane, right? We'll look at it now again. So you can see here that you have a late arrival to the throttle. Jordan's already gone up there and you're still in the corner trying to apply throttle. He's at 94 when you're still at 80. You were parallel in terms of time and everything like this. So what I want to do is I'm going to come back here to this corner. I want to zoom in on this. Christian is purple, right? You can see there you're tied. I want to just play it neck for neck, see what's up. So there you are. You're in too tight and you're getting sucked towards that curb and you ruined your exit. All right. You got to go in slow and fast out. You got to be in control even though it's a race, right? Here's your cams. Your cams are pulling it back. You can see you gaining on the boys. A little bit on brakes and you come up level then as well, right? So that's nice work that you got it back. If I go back to time compare, right? You can see that you started with a deficit of negative 625 there, but your power brought that back to 0.1. So that's just on the straight. On the brakes, although it doesn't show it in the video, it's normally on the tip in. No, it does, yeah, it's exactly that. Jordan beats you on the brakes, right? You gained it back on the entry. That's interesting. So like right there, look at the time split. Absolutely zero, right? So you did a great job getting up there. Again, because you were tight on entry here, you're blowing wide here. You can see that you're on a trajectory to run wide. You're making your lap longer. So you're adding meters to the checkered flag. That's the problem here. And then you've turned that level gap into a deficit again on your drive out, which compounds to a gap of negative 1.76, and that is why that lap ended up with that lap time. But you were up. If you can fix these little things, you got to be patient in that chicane there, you know, that kind of way. So interesting, very interesting. So one thing I want to look at, if I go to this channel, right, I just want to see your chicane. I'm just looking at your brake markers here. Not bad in fairness. You know, there might be someone in your way causing that late drive out, or you had a battle going on. But you can kind of see here, this is stuff I'm talking about. That's a throttle, not happy, now I'm happy. Yeah, don't hit the throttle till you're happy. see Jordan's trace there. I'm happy, I'm going to go. Bang. And he pulled out 94k on you in the time that it took. And you can see how late you are to the throttle here because you're going in way too hot. So you got to stay calm, got to breathe in the racing and remain calm. A quick one I want to look at is this here. Should be, yeah, lean angles. Just zoomed in a bit too far here. One sec. Just give me a sec. I want to make sure I can see the whole lap. There it is there. And I've got to reset this guy. It is on distance based. That's good. I want to look at turn 1. Yeah, so I'll place the cursor there on turn 1. Sorry for the position on the camera for a sec. I'm trying to look ahead and do this at the same time. I want to look at the lean angles. So here's the lean angles. Lean angle is directly related to speed. So we have 32 for 36. All right. Now then, I can happily say that both of you achieve something in the order of about 45 odd degrees, right? However, looking at the trace, you can see that you're not quite happy. You've leaned it hard, backed out of it, leaned it hard, backed out of it, leaned it, backed out of it. You know the kind of way. You can see Jordan applies lean angle, comes up steady, applies the throttle handy. Now I can give it more beans and stand it up, bang him out of there. You know that kind of way. That's fluctuating from 45 degrees. Apologies about the shaky camera. 45 degrees to 40 to 33 degrees. Back to 40 degrees to 29 degrees. You can see what I'm getting at. It's not very stable. You need to just literally find a sweet spot where you can go into a corner nice, smoothly lower it into the corner and smoothly raise it up out of the corner as well, you know. But very interesting, yeah. So if you were tidy in this chicane, it's a pity that time would have just been you probably would have been up by a good 0.4, so there's potential there. Let me see, anything else to have a look at. Throttle traces, I'm going to get rid of Jordan's lap for a sec. Right, so very good on the brakes. You're braking or you're driving, perfect, all the way through. Chicane had a bobble, right? So that's pretty much engine braking mid-corner or changing direction. That's fine. I see that all the time. But this drive out, you tried to get out of there and you can see it then. So that's the only blip in your whole throttle trace. Now then, coasting is the last thing I want to see. Your biggest coast is going into turn 2. And it starts off here at 7 meters. And by the time you're done, it goes up to 16 meters. 10 meters is pretty much, I would prefer to see that halved, right? Just go over to the track map, see where we're at. Yeah, see that service road there? I'll get you an exact pinpoint on where other people are braking. So you're braking there, right? So you're braking just after the service road. And then let's see. So the last thing I want to do then is open up the other lap then that I have for Jack Caldwell, right? So we've got Jack here. Open that. I'm just going to close Jordan for a sec. Because, lo and behold, somebody has added a ton of pace in turn 1. Look at that, right? That is significant, and that adds up to 15k an hour again. So you've done loads of work. You've done loads of work on turn 1. You've gone 15k quicker, but now somebody else has gone 15k quicker, and this is kind of how it works. So just to bring that to your attention, quite a gingerly drive in there for this man. You know, you can kind of see that time opened up. You were pulling 0.1 seconds on him. Right, but by the time he done his damage to hit the brakes into turn 2, he's pulled out 0.1 on you, right? So the point is that, well, it usually looks like that about 8k is worth about 0.12, 0.15 seconds there in turn 1, depending on how hard you can hit the gas coming out of it. You can kind of see that you guys are more aggressive getting on the throttle. He's quite gingerly on it, so I'll be getting on to him about that. you know, and the braking marker, he has been the best braker into this. That's the only thing to come from Jack Caldwell's data, is that he is braking, let me see, so both Jordan and Christian are braking at 780 meters in here, right? And then Jack is braking like an animal in here, and this is what he was working on all weekend, was brakes. 799 meters. It's only 10 meters, so it's a flash in the pan. Literally just 10 meters. So we'll just see how this, and then bring it forward again. A little chunk of track. It's not much. It's just 10 meters later braking, basically. So that's all you can get really out of Jack's data. The only thing I'd say, yeah, basically over here, Jack will be learning from you. You're on track for a time that's way faster, you know, because Jack had 2 apexes here where he couldn't match you, you know. So let's give you props for that. That one there is a difference of nearly 14k, and then that one is a difference of 6k in the last corner. So a little bit of meat on the bone for Jack as well. So you're all going to go faster as a group. That's the good news. Now, that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching. This is a rider progress summary from Crossover Motorsports, just some of the guys we're working with over the weekend, and basic data analysis, basically. Nothing crazy, just simplistic stuff.